Hey there fancy friends, it's Oliver, and this video is about the flick and the flip. Two very interesting ways to strike with a cane or a club. Bartitsu has to become a synonym for gentleman fighting arts, as today's people know the term from Hollywood movies related to Sherlock Holmes, which is also a good research because Arthur Conan Doyle himself wrote Holmes would use the fighting style which were very popular through newspaper articles and exhibitions in London around 1900. And even if the jiu-jitsu part was the selling point for Bartitsu back then, the method of using the walking cane for self-defense was for sure the one which comes into our mind. There are many ways to use the walking stick in self-defense, and people would call it Bartitsu. But in fact, there is only one Bartitsu cane fighting style, and this is the way of Pierre Vigny, the fencing master who taught at the Bartitsu Academy. We are trying to bring you some original techniques from Canne Vigny, as we already brought back some of the newspaper technique series into life. But they are just highlights. If you want to get more basics, today people have to look into H.G. Lang's book The Walking Stick Method of Self-Defense, which based on the Vigny style. And this is where we also took our knowledge from for the flicks and flips, some very special kinds of strikes, just because they are not mentioned in the Bartitsu source material. Many of you asked me about doing a video on that topic because the instructions are so clear that there are different variations around the internet, and mine is also a little bit different too. In fact, when this video is online, today it's my birthday, and I just thought I'd do you the favor and make you a little present to my birthday. I will explain my variation to you, and this is the most important part. If you do not agree with me, tell me, and tell me why. Before we start, hit like and subscribe. You will not regret it, I promised. But now let's start. The flick is a strike for close quarters, when a regular strike loaded with a full moulinet did not work. Lang mentioned a railway carriage, a tight corner, or even situations in which one stands with the back on the wall. And this is our first anchor point. Any variation where the stick goes around the head in a big circle did not work. Lang wanted us to start in front guard, and I will take a Bartitsu-like front guard, and then we start with a thrust to the side of the face where we want to hit later with the flip, which is the right side of the face. And from there we drop the point and bring our hand to the right, fingernails up, and drop the arm. That's important. And from there it looks like here. So it's like here we lunged again, drop the point and boom, hit there. So this position could be fast. It's really important to lower the arm here. It makes the heavy part of the head move. It makes the heavy part doing its job for you. So the turn of the wrist to the left is important, and the flick can be linked to the crack of a whip. Make it fast and make it a loose movement. When the irregular moulinets are a plane of movement, then the flip or the flick is kind of like a cylindrical movement. So you see kind of this. So this is our second anchor point. If the variation contains more elbow movement and less wrist whip, it didn't follow the instructions. Have a look at the image from the book. You will notice that the arm is not that much bent and that the end of the cane is below the arm. Make sure your variation fits this end position. But to do the flick really powerful, you have to throw in body movement, and Lang likes to use hollowed backs. So hollow your back and lean your upper body with the strike to the right. This is, by the way, the same hollowed back he uses from the strikes from above. And if you give it a try, you will feel the connection. And this is then how we execute the flick. And then there's the flip. The flip should be more or less the same strike from the other side, because Lang wrote that our Yankee friends will like it, because the surprising speed with which flicks and flips can be delivered after a little practice will develop you into a vertical, automatic flick flip repeater. Automatic load, no reloading. So our third anchor would be, could you shoot them rapidly one after another? If not, it missed a main aspect. The flip is not executed by a lunge, but by a jump, because we have to twist the hips for power. So our left foot is not on the ground, but on our toes instead. The starting point is also a thrust to the face, but make sure you rotate it fully in fingernails up. Then you let sink the tip again and let come up the heavy part by its own. It's a little bit easier, yeah? So you have to come here and then come around with this movement. This is a jerk from the hand, so we rotate it not to the left or right, but upwards, so aka in a vertical position. And the hand position will give the mace the opportunity to follow its way by itself. The stick again is not that high, so avoid to turn your elbow and bring the end underneath your arm. So it's still here. And then it could, yeah, if it's just following and there's no target, it would straight hit through because your wrist is loose in this position. So the flip has kind of like the same coaching cues as the flick. And if you want to go for the repeater, the square hip makes even more sense, because the power generation by switching from hollowed fencing lunge of position to a twisted step lunge is quite obvious. So first, it feels good for me to bring the arm, or let's do it. So you are here in this fencing position, and then you come here and here and here and here and here and here. And first it feels for me good to come here in a totally stretched position and then bring the arm in, so I even bring more power to the movement, but then it started to take the shoulder too much backwards. And when I'm here and I'm doing this, I could lose reach, but if I stay with the arm here, I just let my shoulder in the front. You may try it on a pad or as we did on a stick or something else, just because the stop makes it more easy, and for sure try it out slow at first and figure out the movement. A good exercise for the combination, so for the repeater, would be the downwards figure eight strike with a staff, which is more or less the same movement. So this kind of like everyone could have done before, playing with sticks and staffs. And then you see this strike, 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 strike. There is similarity. If you're still watching, I guess you noticed the movement is very special, but it's worth it. And trust me, we didn't spend months of training to get this work, even for noobs. So this is not that hard as it looks like in the beginning. Yeah, don't forget to write me a comment what you think about the flips and the flicks. And then see ya in the next video.